Hey everybody, what's up? It's Con583 here again, back with another Gravely episode. Today, I've gotten all the spare parts I need to get this thing functional again. So, I'm going to take a closer look into them, and then I'm going to get this Gravely completed. So in the spare parts line, we have a hood, because the original one's missing. We have a new carburetor and fuel line, because that one is broken, like I mentioned in the last video. I've got a muffler, which got to be separated from the remains of the manifold. That's what it's called. I've got a muffler that's got to be separated from the remains of its manifold there, and replace mine, which is no longer existent. I have maybe a better air hose. I'm not sure if that one's any better than mine. I have a cooling fin for the exhaust side, and most excitingly, I have hubs and a set of wheels. So this is actually only two wheels. It's these. These are just an extra tire and tubes. But what I'm going to do, I'm going to take this wheel, put that on with one of the hubs. This one I'm going to put that tire on. And I think one of these needs a new tube, so I'll do that too. But then I can get this thing rolling. Finally, I can ditch that dolly. So in this video, I'm going to go ahead and put all these parts onto this tractor. So this might be a bit of a long one. But I really want to see this thing drive. So let's get started. Alright, so let's get started here. I'm going to apologize in advance for the background noise. It's very hot out, so I've got my Hunter running behind me. But anyways, I think the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get the new carburetor on there. I'm not going to pull it apart because I'm going to probably break something else in it, and I don't want to do that. So I'm going to just throw it on there and hope that it works. And then after that, I think I'll throw a muffler on it. And then I'll do the cooling shrouds and everything else. I'm pretty much going to do everything and then do the wheels last, because it's honestly easier to work on with this dolly than with the wheels on. So let's get started. So I started to take the carburetor off and realized that I forgot to turn on the camera. So all I've done so far is removed one of the bolts. I'm trying to remove this other one here, and then I'm going to pull this plastic fuel line off and get the new one bolted right up. Alright, there's the other bolt. Comes right off. If it doesn't run well, then I'll have to pull it back off and do some adjustments to it, but that's not going to be a big deal. And I got another parts carburetor now too, which is great. So everything on this seems to work. There's a little bit of slop in this, but that's okay. It's not a big deal. This is actually some form of aluminum or pot metal, not cast iron like the other one, but that's alright. Gasket here, I don't know if there's supposed to be, there probably is, but I don't have it, so whatever. There we go. That's odd. I'm going to try not break this one too, but I'm a little bit short on my gap here. I don't know if you guys can see what I'm looking at. It doesn't quite meet up, so I'm going to try and, without breaking it, get this over there enough. It's supposed to come off a different model tractor than an L. Been a while, but if I open that, there's fuel filling up in that bowl. Fuel pouring out of the bowl and onto the floor. Alright, great. Because this got loosened. Let's try that again. Oh my god, it's really tight. Well, we're still seeping. That's odd. Alright, I'm going to try and tighten this up and I'll be back in a second. Alright, so it's a lot better. It's still dripping very slowly. I made a new gasket for it, but the main thing is that the carburetor does not appear to be leaking, which is good. So I'm going to go ahead and shut this off before we drip too much gas on this cardboard and seep through it. And I think I'm going to move on to the muffler next, and then the fan shroud, so we can actually get this thing going. So I'll be back in a second. So I really don't think that this is going to come off easily, and I also really don't want to snap my manifold, because that would be in no muffler for a while. So I'm going to try and pop this old one off. I really don't think I'm going to have much luck. And apparently they're doing construction next door, so that's even more noise to add to the video here. Oh wow. I stand corrected. It's been like everything with this Gravely so far. It looks like it's been rusted on there for 50 years and then it comes right off. How's that for a muffler? So I'm going to have to wait a little while because I cannot get that other muffler separated from the broken manifold it's on. It's insane how tight that's on there. I tried everything. So I'm going to wait on that until I can get the help of some acetylene torches to really heat it up, and then I'll get it off there. But until then, I'm going to move on to the next step. Alright, staying on this side of the tractor, next up is the cooling shroud that goes around here. Goes around the exhaust manifold and around to the front of the engine. Help the fan back here to cool it. With this thing on, I won't have to worry about burning the engine up by running it too much, which is nice. Alright, let's continue. Alright, so unfortunately a couple things are happening here. One, my camera battery is about to die, so I'm going to make this quick. Two, the hood I grabbed apparently doesn't work with the battery crate I have. And seeing as though I don't plan on putting a battery on this because I don't feel like putting the money into that, I think I'm going to pull that off and put the new hood on. So I'm going to go charge my camera and then I'll come back. So yeah, as I just mentioned, this hood is not actually the right one, I guess. I think the right one is supposed to attach there. But for now, I guess I'll take the battery box off and I'll go from there, because right now I don't have a battery on it. I'll definitely keep it, but yeah, we'll see how it works. Alright, so the way to get this off, I think it's only held on by the bolts where this hood normally attaches on the handlebars here. There we go. It's a pretty dirty bolt. I'm going to go around and do the other side. Alright, so both bolts are out, so I'm going to get this thing out of the way. I'm going to see if this will actually want to come off or not. I mean, I could be wrong. It could be held on in two other spots, actually, right here. Alright, it looks like I got two more bolts to do. Of course, they're a different size also. Probably 1/2 inch. The big ones were 9/16 actually. Wow, that was that was interesting. This is where having a ratchet like this really comes in handy. These have been some of the most difficult bolts to get off on this whole tractor. I realized my mistake too. The tractor that I got these parts off of was not an electric start, so it didn't have this big battery thing in the way, and so that hood fit down differently. That's not going to fit, of course. Might be able to grab a long one. Inch. And an extension. Might just about do it. Come on. There we go. There goes our battery box. I'm going to have to put these bolts back in, I think, just to seal up the transmission and crankcase and stuff. Don't want oil spitting out of everywhere. There we go. And now the hood can go on. Actually slightly bent. I'm gonna fix that. Alright, now that we get all that crap out of the way, hopefully the hood can go back on. It is slightly bent, actually, but I'm gonna see if I can make it work. Hopefully. So this is actually supposed to have washers. It might be what these are. Actually, no, never mind. Those go on the wheels. I'm an idiot. Alright. Alright. There we go. Awesome. Hood is on. I don't know if it's on correctly, but it's on. So that's that. Yeah, cool. At least it has a hood now. That's pretty much what I care about. I am going to try and straighten this out a little bit though, so I'll be back when I'm done with that. Alright, so the hood is on. I think because of the fact that it's not the right hood and that it's bent in the corner there, it doesn't quite fit up here. It doesn't quite fit right, but it looks good enough for me. So until I get the real hood, that will have to do. So I think next on the agenda here is wheels. Ooh, ah. So I got two wheels here. Or at least two rims, but they've got different tires on them. I've got the right tire over there along with some spare tubes. He said that one of these was shot, so I'm going to try and pump these both up and see if in fact one of these tubes is shot, and then I'll go from there. But I think I want both of these types of wheels because I got one of them over there. I want to get two of the same wheels on there, so I'm going to go ahead and pump these up, and I'll be back when I'm done. So unfortunately, this one's got the good tube, and this one's got the bad tube. So that means both of these wheels have to come apart, because that one needs a new tube, and this one needs a new tire. I was hoping that this one would have the bad tube, so I can just do it all in one shot, but that's not my kind of luck. So I'm going to go ahead and start pulling these wheels apart, and I'll be back in a minute. So I think next on the agenda here is making a PTO cover for this thing. Last time I ran it without the cover on the front, and it started spitting oil everywhere, and that's not good because my parents kind of don't like oil stains on the driveway. So So what I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to make a plate that goes on the front of that out of a piece of plywood. So let's get started. Alright, so I've gone ahead and just marked out where the holes should be, and I've got a big 1/2-inch drill in here. The bolts aren't quite 1/2 inch, but I figured a little looser fit is better, so I'm going to go ahead and drill these. And that's that. Alright, there we go. After a couple different tries, I got it to be pretty good. Apparently I can't measure, hence the little gap there, but I don't think much oil is getting out of there, and if it does, I'll flip it around so it's up here, so it's not getting sprayed directly. But anyways, I think that I want to try and start this thing, but I don't know if I have time right now, so either the next clip will either be me starting it or working on the wheels. We'll see. Alright, before I put the wheels on, I am just going to try and give this thing a start. We're going to see what the hell happens. Alright, so we do have spark, so I'm just going to try this again. There is actually a little gas dripping out of this carburetor, so that's a good thing. Nothing yet. Alright, so wheel number 1 is apart here. It took quite a bit of force to do, so I'm going to go ahead and put that tube in that tire on that rim, and I'll be back. Alright, so this tire is all together, nice and snug, and it's filled up with the right amount of air pressure. Seems to be working pretty well. So what I'm going to go ahead and do, I'm going to use these tires because I don't think new ones are going to be cheap. They're not really that bad. They're a little dry rotted, but they should be fine for moving around for now. And hopefully I'll get those reduction wheels soon. But what I'm going to go ahead and do now is put the hub on this one, and then I'll get back to you when I have both the tires done, because there's no point in me doing this whole thing twice for you guys. So I'm going to go ahead and get the rims on these things. So I got one of the hubs here. It's got 3 bolts that thread directly into it. And they're not in there very deep, so they should come out pretty easily. That's that. And then these tires should go ahead and sit on there like that. And we can go ahead and put the bolts right back in. Or not. I'm going to start it by hand, I think. Alright, now they're all started. You go ahead and crank these suckers tight, because we don't want the wheels falling off my Gravely when I'm doing this on work with it. Should be tight enough. looks like somebody's home. Alright, we can continue now. These are pretty tight now. Tight enough to pull the socket lid off. Yeah, that's tight as it's going to get. And that fits in there pretty nicely, looks good. Alright, cool, I can at least get one of the wheels on. So, I'm going to go ahead and get the new tube in the other tire. And get it on the rim and everything, and I'll put the hub on that one too. And the next clip, I'll be putting the wheels on this thing, which is super exciting. Alright, I'll see you in the next one. Alright, let's get to it. Alright, so next up are a couple small things. One is getting this throttle linkage hooked up to the carburetor. And two is going to be seeing if that air hose I got is any good, and even if it's not, putting the air cleaner back on. So this carburetor, I don't know if you can see it very well, it's getting a little dark. The throttle linkage here is upside down actually. So what I'm going to do, and it's also a little broken actually. This whole piece spins, but it looks like it's easy enough to remove. So I think I'm going to steal it off this one, and I'll put it on there, and we'll see if we have any better luck. Well, I didn't think it was going to work out too well, but I actually got it to work pretty decently. That's an idle, and that's pretty much full throttle there. Doesn't go much further. So that's decent for now. Can't say it's perfect, but it's working better than I thought it would. So I know the lighting here is a little harsh, but I've gotten the air cleaner thingy back in here. And I'm going to go ahead and put the oil bath air cleaner back on it. I don't plan on draining the oil out of this because I don't have a good spot to get rid of it right now. And it seems pretty clean, not that it needs to be anyways. And it seems I've already managed to lose the wing nut that went on there. I'm a pro at that. Oh my god. Got it! Sitting over with the rest of my parts. Alright, now I'm going to try and get that tube on there. Alright, sorry about the harsh lighting here, it's just I'm shooting at night and it's pretty dark in here. And that's just about the only bulb color I have left. Apparently all my bulbs are dead. But anyways, got the air cleaner tube here. It's more or less usable. Split quite a bit around the carburetor end. But that's alright, we'll make it work. I actually just flip the screen around here so I can see what I'm doing. I'm going to attempt to make this work. And try not to tear this into pieces either. You can see there's quite a split there. I don't know if this is going to work. Seems like there's chunks missing. There we go, finally. Gonna have to loosen this up a little more. Everything on this thing is harder than it needs to be. Including flathead screws. They suck. Alright, I'm gonna have to cut the video here. Alright, that took a little bit of fiddling with, and now I can I'm not gonna use that, I don't want to break anything. Getting it tighten here. Alright, that's on there pretty good. Oh, I'm an idiot. I'm gonna have to pull the air cleaner off again. Because I forgot that there's a bracket on that side. I apologize for that beeping, by the way. I think it's my FiOS link thing that turns the fiber optic into a cable. I think the backup battery's dead, and that's why it beeps, but it's kind of obnoxious. Alright, now on this end, that one's pretty bad. I think I'm spinning the whole bracket. There we go. It's tight enough. Now we can slide the air cleaner thing back on there. Like so. Just realized that cooling fin there is missing a screw on the intake side, not the one I put on. That goes the hood. Yeah, that's missing a screw, but I don't think it's a huge deal. It's on there. Alright, that looks kind of crappy, but it's on there. The whole tractor looks crappy, but that's kind of the idea. I like it that way. Alright, now I got a muffler to put on, and then we have wheels to put on. Ooh, ah. So after putting so much work into trying to get this stupid muffler off, I finally employed the help of a friend who had acetylene torches. But before even trying that, he tried doing the same thing I did and it popped right off. So, who knows, but whatever. I got it off, so that's all that matters. And this should just thread right on there. Sounds like there's some particulate in there. Cool. So a little rust dust fall out of there, so it's possible that one's rusted out a little bit too, but it sure looks a hell of a lot better. Maybe it'll just do a placebo effect. Alright, now for the grand finale. Let's get those wheels on. This is going to be interesting to do with only one set of hands. Let's see what I can come up with here. Obviously I have to tilt this thing back. Guess I should have locked the wheels on the dolly first. Oh, and of course the keyways are not going to be vertical. Great. Alright. So, still trying to figure out how the hell I'm going to do this one man with only one set of hands. If I can tilt it back. Whoa. Alright, well that was a little close. Should be entertaining to watch, at least. Alright. That should be good enough. Once I get one wheel on, it should be easier. We're going to see if that will work. Alright. See about wheel numero uno. Keyway is, of course, on the bottom. Oh, the key seems to want to stay, so that's lucky. Oh, I was a little scared that would happen. Alright though, There we go. Wheel number 1 is just about on. Come on. Bolts are being annoying. Alright, I'm going to grab a socket. Hope I have one that's big enough. Nope. I do not have the right tools for the job. Which is unfortunate because that's all I have to work with. So it looks like my big pair of channel locks is going to come in handy again. At least to get the bolts started. Yeah, This might be a little harder than I first anticipated. I don't know why this one's not threading on there, but I'm going to try the nut from the other side. It's almost like the end got mushroomed a little bit. That would suck. Doesn't look like it though. Man, this thing's fighting me every step of the way. This nut does not want to go on. Alright, I'm going to see if I can lower it down onto the wheel just the way it is. And I'll get the other wheel secured. And I'll be back in a second. Again, not the most ideal way of doing this, but it's all I've got for now. Well, the wheels are on. It makes me so happy to just look at that. But the only setback is, and of course there's a but with this thing, whoever decided to take the old wheels off was an idiot and pounded directly on the shaft on both sides and mushroomed it a little bit, just enough to screw up the threads to the point where I can't get these nuts on. So, what I've got to do are two things. One is get the correct size socket for this, and two, I'm going to try and either grind on new threads. If I get the right socket, I can just try and force this one on there. Or I have to cut the shaft back about 1/8 of an inch, which I really don't want to do, mainly because I don't have the right tools for that. At least not without pulling the wheels off. I could pull the wheels off and cut it with an angle grinder, but still. I don't know, I'm going to try and grind new threads into it first. But either way, this thing, after I get those nuts on, is just about done.